Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner spoke to the YES Network and had this to say. It's difficult for most of us owners to be able to do the kinds of things that they're doing. We'll see if it pays off. They still have to have a season relatively injury-free for it to work out for them. It's a long season, as you know, and once you get to the postseason, anything can happen. We've seen that time and time again. After signing Shohei Ohtani to a mega deal last season, helping them win a World Series, the Dodgers picked right back up this offseason. My goodness. Signed Roki Sasaki from Japan, along with signing two-time Cy Young winner Blake Snell to a 5-year, $182 million contract. Plus, they improved their bullpen by adding 2 key arms in Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott. All right, Stephen A., he said that about the Dodgers, obviously. Do you have a problem with Hal's comments?
Yeah, I do. The Yankees have had a good offseason with some of the acquisitions that they have made after losing Soto. We get that. I understand it. But nevertheless, I don't want to hear Steinbrenner, Hal Steinbrenner in this case, because Hank obviously passed away years ago, God rest his soul. I don't want to hear that from Hal. Fact of the matter is, there was an urgency attached to the Yankees when it came to winning when the late, great George Steinbrenner was around running this team. When you are a Yankees fan, you anticipate that his offspring will resemble his attitude, his fervor, his passion, his commitment to winning. That's what you would expect. And when you listen to Hal, you know, it's almost like a built-in excuse as to why we're not doing what people think we should do. I want to hear that. You haven't won a World Series since 2009. I know the trash cans in Houston may have derailed you a few years back with that controversy. I get that part. But you just lost the World Series to the Dodgers. You should have won Game 1. Had you won Game 1, it would have been a different animal. But Freeman made sure that didn't happen. And obviously, we look at the New York Yankees right now, and we see the way that the Dodgers are spending money, and the Yankees just pale in comparison. And you're Hal, what's the excuse? It's the Yankee brand. You got money. You can afford to go out there and spend. That's true, but people are out recruiting you too. They're choosing to go other places rather than come to you, and it ain't always about the money. Take Soto into consideration. Yeah, he seems like a mercenary and went to the Mets instead of the Yankees and all of that stuff. Maybe it was because of Aaron Judge. Maybe it was because the Mets were willing to give him his own suite, and you guys said we didn't even do that for Jeter or Mariano Rivera or somebody. Whatever the case may be, there are elements to success that the Yankees enjoyed under George Steinbrenner that we don't see happening under Hal Steinbrenner. Hal Steinbrenner resembles far too many of the other owners out there instead of resembling his daddy. And Yankee fans want him to resemble his daddy.
Yeah, I think you're right, Steve, and I don't understand the tone of the quote. I mean, the Yankees, as you said, spent a fortune in this offseason after they lost Soto, and they were very competitive with that bid. The Mets out, a little bit they outbid him. It was almost a 50-50 thing. And Soto, for whatever the reason, wanted to go play for the Mets and Steve Cohen. Maybe he believed more in him. I can't answer that. But they did put $780 million on the table or thereabouts. And then they brought Fried in and Bellinger in and Goldschmidt in. And, they brought Devin Williams in from Milwaukee. They had a good offseason. So I don't quite understand why he'd go to this L.A. scenario. L.A.'s got advantages because they got Ohtani, and there's a lot of the great players from Japan who want to play with Ohtani, and that's why they got the 2 pitchers, Yamamoto and the young kid they just signed, because they want to play with Ohtani, and that's just the way it is. A lot of guys wanted to play with Reggie, a lot of guys wanted to play with Munson, a lot of guys wanted to play with Jeter, and that's when the Yankees had the advantage. This is really about the fact that the Dodgers got Ohtani more so than anything else, and I'm actually very surprised at how would indicate that we can't compete with the Dodgers. Guys like you, Yankee fans, they don't want to hear the word compete when it comes to a franchise that's won 27 championships and plays at Yankee Stadium in New York. They don't want to hear that nonsense. And that's why Hal opened himself up here, which I'm a little surprised about.